Hello, YouTubers, YouTube stars, YouTube wizards, and all other kind of variations just to make it interesting. I'm David. This is my blog, Retire in the RP. RP stands for Republic of the Philippines. As y'all know, they're opening it up around everywhere in the world, and you can come visit. And I would suggest, not that I would be prejudiced or partial or whatever you want to call it, come visit the Philippines. I think you ought to at least once if you got some time. You can come and see all kind of good videos about the Philippines and the things that they've got going on, how pretty the country is, and I would invite you to do so. This subject is Volume 2, talking about industry and opportunities for business in the Philippines. I'm going to just go over this. I'm going to try to get last time. I know I went way over. I got to talking. It happens. I used to go to a lot of preaching, so hey, you get used to preachers going over. I'm not a preacher. I'm not here to preach at you. I'm just here to invite you to the Philippines. Talking about moving to Bukidnon, which is where my wife, Maribel, and I would like to be, Mama Bell as I call her. And that's where we're going to try to move. It's a town in Bukidnon called Maramag, and it's about, I'm going to say about a third of the way down from Cagayan de Oro and 2/3 of the way up from Davao, city of Davao. And it's second largest city in the Philippines, third being Cebu City on the island of Cebu. So it's plenty good to see. Cagayan de Oro is a good-sized city. You know, you have a lot of good-sized cities in the Philippines that don't have near the crime or near the problems that you do in the United States. Yeah, I'm going to go on to the United States and go off on it. I love my country, okay? I was born in Texas. I've lived in, guess what part of the country? I don't know what part of the country. Well, the part of the country would have to be, from my accent, Southern. So, yeah, I am Southern born and Southern bred, and I've lived a pretty typical Southern life. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just going to run over a few of the things that we're working on, and definitely I want you to, if you enjoy it, like and subscribe. I am trying to get more consistent on uploading my blogs. Yeah, I know I got the work to do on this and to do on that, and I'm trying to get information out. I'm available if you have a question. Oh, and by the way, now you can leave comments on the videos. I'm the only one that left one on the last time, but I'm getting a pretty decent number of viewers. It's working up. So yeah, so let's talk about this. Moving to Bukidnon. Bukidnon is a place that is cooler, and it's got some beautiful fruit growing in that area. I saw avocados that were about 3 times as big as the ones that they grow in Texas, it seemed like. Huge grapes. You can get rambutan, you can get mangosteen, you can get durian, which I've never tried durian. Never smelled it. I've heard that it smells like feet and dead meat and this, that, and the other. I don't know. Never tasted it. I've heard people tell me that it is good. Maybe one day I'll get enough guts to try it. Don't know. They had this thing on there about would you eat such and such? And I said, well, you know, the South, they have chitlins. I didn't care for them, but I tried them when I was a kid. They were, I mean, it was meat. Wasn't exactly what I particularly cared for, but I did it. So the first thing we want to try, and this is if you can help, if you want to get involved, okay, then please, you know, you've got Mama Bell's PayPal on there, and you've got the Patreon. If you want to become a regular subscriber, you can set it up there. And as always, if you like the blogs and you're on YouTube, like and subscribe and share if you want to. I know that I'm not the most perfect, beautiful, wonderful, most entertaining host. Just getting into it, trying to figure out the best way to do it. I just know how to tell the truth and what I think. And that's it. If you're looking for some magical mystery tour of worlds and words, well, maybe you'll think it is, maybe you'll think it's not. It's up to you. You know, if you, like I said, if you like it, subscribe and like, and if you want to, share. There's other YouTubers I listen to, and they talk like they do, I talk like I do, and I find interesting YouTubers that deal with the Philippines. And there's a lot of people talk about relationships and stuff. I'm not really into that. That's not my specialty. Now, if you're talking about this, I just run a few business ideas for you, and then I'm going to jump off and get this one done, get it up, and get ready to do another blog here in a little bit. I've got a job interview tonight, but there's no way I'm going to be able to get it because they just, every company I have tells me I've got to move back to the U.S. Like I said, I love the U.S., but inflation is going to be so bad. What I read, and you can do the research on Google yourself, go search it yourself on a search engine. I won't recommend one of them. There's a bunch of them. You go recommend that if you want to. That's up to you. But they said that they are predicting COLA, cost of living adjustment, for those people who are on disability like me. They're on Social Security, they're on retirement, Army retirement, whatever. It was 5.9% last year coming into 2022. They're predicting in 2023 it would be 7.6. Now, what happened between last president and this president? You can gripe about Trump all you want, but let me tell you, we had gas at less than $2 a gallon. Inflation wasn't that bad. We got a couple of small raises. It was so bad under Obama, there was a couple of years where we got zero COLA. Nothing. It was the same thing. So if you want to know what my disability is, I've got a bunch of stuff. I took early. I worked as best I could, as hard as I could. But there wasn't a whole lot of jobs. Let me tell you, on the job, they may have the disability rules and Americans with ADA, American with Disability Act. In the end, it don't mean nothing. And in the end, you don't get any help if you're getting jerked around. I won't mention the company, but I got fired from a company, and they had the software to put on it. Okay, my thing is, why I don't look very well, why it seems like my eyes wander off or something, I'm legally blind. I've got a bad blood vessel that's busted in this eye. This eye corrected is 2,400. The legal blind is 2,200. And this used to have good vision until the blood vessel burst. I need to get that taken care of. A lot of stuff. I have a lot of anxieties that I deal with. Some people call it PTSD, and that may be it. I don't know. I just know that I have anxiety. They tried to put me on something. I took it about 2 days, and I said, all you do is sleep, man. It's just like comatose. Okay, so yeah. So my wife and I are struggling. She's working her job, of course, working in the Philippines. You ain't going to make a lot of money, but dadgum, it helps. She does a lot. She's working. We're trying to figure out a way to get a piece of land where we can build a house on. And that's what we're trying to do, and what we want to do. Her brother is already doing it. We'd like to be able to build the piggery and start raising pigs and selling pigs. Merrimack is in between Cagayan de Oro in the north, Misamis Oriental, Davao in the south, the second largest city in the Philippines. And something else I found out too. And Merrimack's kind of like about in the middle of all of them, over in the middle of the province in Bukidnon is a city called Bislig, and it's about the same size, around 100,000. And it has got, you look on the map, and you look at that, and it has got I don't know what the physical condition is and whether it needs to be dredged out. Most of them do. But it has got a huge natural harbor that it's on the Pacific Ocean. And then you've got a harbor up there in Cagayan de Oro and a harbor down in Davao City. If you had that one, that would be three all together on the same half of the island. Then you go over to Zamboanga City, and they've got a harbor too where they can do shipping. So you could actually, with a little more work, and not to mention the infrastructure they're building here. So if Mindanao is as bad as they like to say, some people, then why are they building all the infrastructure? Why are they building the air terminal and the train line? Basically going all the way around the island to collect all the major cities. Why have they got the highway from Cagayan de Oro down to Merrimack and then down to Davao? I read where one city that I was actually looking at, and this is a couple of years back, it's Appomattox. The reason I was looking because they had a rubber plantation for sale over there. Way out of my line, way I can't afford it, so, maybe at another day or another time. But they said that Appomattox, the natives there, the residents there, had gotten tired of another group's incursion and declared them persona non gratis. Persona non gratis means they don't want them. And I won't get into that, but they were taxing the farmers 70%. And you thought the IRS in the United States was bad. Imagine taking 70% of your payout. And another thing about the IRS, I've been a lifelong Republican. I'm just about sick of I've been sick of the Democrats for ages. Joe Biden is one reason. Take a look at him. But even before him, way on back, the last Democrat that I liked was John F. Kennedy, and he got sucker punched and assassinated. Maybe one night we'll just have a talk fest about him discussing that. Just recorded for private. It can be posted as a archive video or archive situation. So, and that would be interesting. There's some things I like. Maybe one night I want to get on here and talk about Hogan's Heroes and Sanford and Son and Father Ted. If you are not a fan of British television, you're not going to know who Father Ted is. Funny show. Dermot Morgan, who played Father Ted Crilly, he was hilarious. And it was a funny show. Enjoyable. Not perfect and not perfectly sanitized, because sometimes the language gets a little rough. Hey, check it out. So anyway, right quick, I'm going to jump back on this. Here's some things that, number one, we want to get so we can start making our own money and having our own money and get our bills paid off. We want to get involved in raising hogs or raising pigs, a piggery. We want to get involved in having a chicken coop, get involved in having a duck house so that we could also do the balut, which is something else I'm not going to try. Heard it tastes just like a regular boiled egg. Looks to me like a boiled baby chicken or baby duck. But that's just me. I like eggs if they're done over easy with a little salt and pepper on them. That's fine. And the eggs here are good, and the chickens here are good. The food here is good. So yeah, and being in that area, we can raise them up and have them where they can go to Cayenne, Bisligs, be sold right there in Merrimack, or just up the street is Valencia, and below that is the province capital of Malay. So there's 300,000 between those three cities in Buchanan, and another I won't say 700,000 in Cayenne de Oro, and Bisligs is another 100,000. So there's you've got an opportunity. Plus, I think it's Swift Meat Processors is looking for people to supply them with meat. So, you're going to be in a good shape. And it would be something we could do, something that would help us out. And that's what we're looking to build. We just need to get some land so that we can have our house and then have like a bamboo screen in between us so that bamboo can be grown, and then also you can cut the bamboo shoots off and sell them, feed that. Here's another couple of ideas. I think that they've got a Philippine Eagle Sanctuary in Bislig. I think that would be an excellent thing to get involved in. I love the Philippine Eagles. They got like punk rock haircuts. The crown that they've got on is kind of weird looking, but I mean they just have this majesty about them, and they're tough and they're strong and they're big and they're just beautiful animals. Let them get saved. I mean, one time they had like 30 to 50 American condors left. They saved them. So hey, let's work on saving the Philippine eagle. Work on saving the green-faced parrotfinch. Work on saving the tarsiers are in Bahal. I don't know if you can move them and get them over here or not. You got key deer, and you've got water buffalo that you can also start preserving here. Just try to do the best to save them because, like I said, they're all beautiful animals. They should have a chance. Growing bamboo helps the environment because it gets rid of a lot of carbon dioxide. Helps, greenhouse stuff. I don't believe them on global warming until I saw a picture on the beach with a bunch of Filipino ladies in bikinis, and I can see how that would create global warming. Make you very warm in certain parts. Absolutely. So yeah, that's one thing. And like I said, if you can figure out a way to assist us, we don't want a gift. We're fine to take a loan. And my wife wants to get back into selling real estate. So that would be another thing that would be good for her. I'd like to see her be able to open up her own bakery where she does her sweet treats, like is on her Facebook page, Mama Bell's Sweet Treats. And let me tell you something, she does them right and does them good. And she's trying to, we're trying to get more things where we got a better kitchen and stuff that we need. And another thing too, the further south you go, the cheaper things get. And that's one reason we're looking there. Her father lives on Zamboanga, but now if you're worried about a place to be, that would be the place not to go. Don't go touring around, don't go driving around, don't go walking around, don't go messing around. Don't try to invest there either. Morale's just down the road. If you've heard about that, it's still around. Don't know exactly what the condition is now, but it was the one where they had a big battle in 2017. And Duterte, the president, God rest his soul, he's alive, but God bless him. He took off and went down there and himself, and he was out there, and he's just a guy. He's just a guy that you don't mess with. I have a lot of respect for him, and I know some of you people are going to sit there and try to say, "Oh, what about the drug war?" Well, drugs destroy people's life. How many people do you know that have died because of drugs? I know a few of them because they got into it, got to messing with it, killed them. It's nothing good comes out of it. You can tell somebody's on drugs because they're missing their teeth. And that's a gap that I was born with, so I'm not missing anything. Drugs are not good. And when he declared the war on drugs and started going after not only just drug dealers and politicians and government people, and they're saying, well, you're not supposed to get into it. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say I'm glad he did. It didn't bother me if some of them people got extrajudicial killings because every country has done that. The Soviet Union did it. The United States did it. Our country's no angel. It's got its fair share of faults too. So, like I said, number one, we want to get into figuring out a way to get our own place, which is a lot cheaper to get one here, and you can have it built, you can have it up in no time, and you're not under a huge house note, and, build it up. And then eventually we would like to get a place that has got lots to rent, and also condos. So we build a building that's got condos, and it's a beautiful country. You wake up in the morning in Buchanan, and you're up high enough to where you've got mountain fog in the morning. It looks so good. Lots of stuff. You got lakes where you can go catfishing. You know what that means to a boy who was raised in Tennessee? Catfishing? Shoot, man. It's a good life. Bear with me, like I said, I don't have good eyesight. I can't really tell what's going on until I look at this thing when it's over. And then another thing, and this is something y'all might want to give a consideration on. You can't own the land, but you can 100% own the business. And my wife has spent a lot of time working in healthcare, so you can't own the land, but you can build a building, let's say maybe a 200-bed assisted living facility. And when you look at the United States, how expensive it's going to get because of the inflation, because of the Democrats and their royal stupidity, you can't just print up tons of money and give it away. And you know what irritates me is I would like to take my wife to the USA for a while so we could go there and earn the money. Can't do it because I never made enough money. I don't meet the income requirements because if you're single and go to the U.S. and get married, it's 100% of the federal poverty rate. If you get married and want to bring your wife over there, you have to have 125% of the federal poverty rate. Now, does that seem fair to you? No. And not to mention, and this is one thing that irritates me about the Republicans, and I mean just galls me, is they're fine about giving away kind of money to all kind of people. But if you're on Social Security or if you're disabled, and get this through your heads, SSI was put into law by Richard Nixon, a Republican. So yeah, take a look at that. So that's another thing we've been thinking about doing too, is getting a way to get a building built. A nice building, good building, American-sized rooms and bathrooms, having health care that's around there that's necessary, so people can. Here's another thing. You think about it. You want to think about putting some of your family in an old folks home or nursing home or care facility, whatever you want to call it. You think about those two women who were aides there who let that guy lie in his bed. He was a veteran. He was a veteran, and they left him to die in his bed. Not to mention, you caught that film on, I can't remember what news program it was, but there was a white woman who thought that her father was being mistreated by the caretaker, and she ended up going to jail. She should have been in prison because she put one of them nanny cams in and caught him beating on her father, beating on him. He was an old guy. You don't beat on old people. But yet he did it, or she did it, and he ended up just. And you see a lot of people, you think the abuse is going to be bad now, wait till it gets to where they got no place to go. And I'm thinking that if you could put a quality facility up and grow American favoritized type vegetables here in the Philippines so that you can mirror the American diet without the junk with the good food. And, you got the hogs, you got the chickens, you can do the meat. You can make it where it's very reasonable on the supplies and on the food. The people are eating good and treated good. And let me tell you something, the Filipinos that work in places like that, they respect and take care of the elderly and respect and take care of the patients that you're not going to get in other countries. So absolutely, if you want to build one, then we can see about working something out. That's fine. Interesting stuff. Think about it. If you're interested and want to know more, just get on and talk more. You've got my Skype number. If you call me, it costs me nothing and it costs you nothing because you're going to a U.S. number. So I have a Skype number in the U.S. and it should be on my Facebook page. I'll have to double check and make sure. If it's not, send me a message on Messenger. Let me know who you are and what you want to talk about, and let's see what we can do, okay? Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Retire in the RP. I am your host, David. If you like the blogs, please like and subscribe. You can now start commenting on them. Take your time, watch them. Give me what you got on your mind. Y'all have a good evening. Take care of yourself. Keep watching those little COVID germs because I'm sure they'll pop back up. But in the meantime, we've got to get up and try to get this thing going. So if there's anything you can do to be of assistance, we would appreciate it. Like I said, I was born with a disability. I've had it all my life. I don't really like, except for the Lord taking good care of me, even better than I deserve. I don't feel like I've ever gotten a break. I'd like to get a break at least once. I'd like to be able to take Mom on our honeymoon because we didn't get to go after we got married. We stayed fed and kept everybody else fed and taken care of. So, well, again, I am David. I am your host. This is Retire in the RP. Give you information about doing that so you can do it. I'll be putting out another blog before too long. You got any suggestions or any questions? Send them to me. Try to get an open talk night so we can have that. Hey, thank y'all so much. God bless y'all. Y'all have a pleasant evening. Take care.